So January seems to be the time of year where everybody does their tech pocket EDC dump. I did one last year and I really enjoyed it, and I want to refresh it this year because I've actually changed a lot of things, including, people will notice, I'm not wearing my Rolex anymore. So I want to talk through why I've picked an Apple Watch Ultra over my Rolex and some of the changes that I've made to my EDC which I'd locked in place for a long time. So let's get started. So first and foremost, what phone am I rocking? I'm using the iPhone 14 Pro, and in fact I just changed it about 10 minutes ago. After I'd shot the thumbnail for this video and when I was working on this pocket update, my iPhone 14 Pro arrived. It wasn't supposed to arrive till tomorrow, so I decided to include it in this video. So far in the 20 minutes since I turned it on and I've been using it, I haven't noticed a huge difference. Before that, I had a couple of different phones. So when the iPhone mini came out, it was my favorite phone. I absolutely love it. It's a tiny phone. There was no compromise at the time. The screen is lovely and I still use it. I use this as a weekender phone. So during the workday when I want to be productive and I've got all my work apps on here, I use my work device. In the evening when I'm with my kids and my family and I don't want to be distracted, I'll use my weekender. So I use this from 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening, and on weekends it just has a camera, notes, maps, things like that. And when I do want to be distracted, this has all my social media, YouTube, and all that rabbit hole for before I go to bed. This is the device I use. I've not noticed a massive difference between the 12 Pro and the 14 Pro. I know that there's 120 Hz refresh rate on it. I haven't really noticed, it's not perceivable to me. It's got an always on display on this new device. Again, I like it. A lot of people don't like it. They think it's distracting. But for me so far, it's been fun. I've only had it for 20 minutes. Let's see how it goes. I've tried a lot of different pocket knives this year and I've got a couple of favorites that came out. Cutting to the chase, the one that I like the most is actually a reasonably cheap knife. It's called the QSP Penguin. It's quite a big knife and the shape of it is somewhat intimidating, but I really love it. I've got it in micarta here, which is a really nice material to have for your handle. The steel is not amazing, it's D2 steel, but it's good enough for me. Again, I use this for opening boxes or for cutting bits of string, things like that, if I'm tying something up in my truck. But I do use it like 5 or 6 times a day. When you fold it up, it is quite chunky in your pocket. It closes big, so you've got to allow space for it. Other runner-ups for me though, something that I carried for a long time, this is the Civivi, can't remember its name, I'll put it on the screen, and it's kind of a gentleman's knife, or they call it a CEO knife. It's quite a thin knife, and I don't think it's super intimidating. It sits in the pocket with a deep carry clip, and I use this for a lot of the year as well. I used it so much my flashlights are all scratched up from rubbing against it. Now it is a locking knife as well, so if you're watching this from the UK, obviously both of these knives are not suitable for you, but I did find something, which is the Civivi, again, name on screen, but it is not a lock. It's the equivalent of the previous knife, but it does not lock in place. Now for me, it's important for a knife to lock in place. If I'm carrying a pocket knife, the whole point of it is that it is a dependable knife. So if you're from the UK or Ireland, you're looking for a knife that doesn't lock in place, but is a nice gentleman's or CEO thin knife with a deep carry clip, micarta scales, I really recommend this one. If I'm not carrying a fixed blade for whatever reason, if I'm going to, I don't know, kid's birthday party, or if I think I'm gonna have to open batteries, or if I want to just have a multi-tool on me in general, I've got 2 options. One is I've got the Victorinox Classic. I've changed this, I've added some stuff to it to make it a little bit more capable for me. Second thing I have on it is this little fire starter wick here. You can buy these in packs, they're super cheap. I don't know why I need it, I just think it's cool. It has a little space, there's room for it basically on the corkscrew, so why not have it there? The second thing that I've added, instead of having a toothpick, which I think is super gross on these, I would never use them, I've added a little bit of flint rod. So with this flint rod, you can scrape the blade from this on the flint rod up against the fire starter and start a fire. Am I ever going to need it? Probably never. Do I think it's cool? Absolutely, and that's why I have it. But I have this on another KeySmart deep carry pocket clip. So if I have this in my pocket, I've got them color coded, silver for my pocket knife, black for my flashlight, and you really just can't see them there. They just sit there, I just pull them up by them, and then I've got them out of my pocket. Another small alternative for a multi-tool, obviously people know about Leatherman. I've got multiple Leathermans in my collection, the P2s, the P4s, the Waves, all of those, the Surge, all of those. But this is tiny. It's called the SOG, or the SOG multi-tool. And another one that I got from Taylor Martin, a recommendation from him, and it's an absolutely tiny, look at the size of it, really, really hard to get it to your head how small that is, how useful it is though to have a pliers and all of the tools that are within it. Also, absolute bonus, so Leatherman does make some small multi-tools like this, but they don't have locking in place. So when I pull out that blade, it's locked in place, and as I said, I love having a locked fixed blade. So a really, really good tiny multi-tool, really functional, and to close it, there's a little quick release on here that you press down, close it up, works really great. I love that. Little tiny multi-tool for if I don't want to carry a fixed blade, this is something I can stick in my pocket. In my last video, people said they couldn't believe that I didn't carry a flashlight with me. And up until then, I'd always just used my flashlight on my phone or kind of struggle through. Since then, I've gone through and I've tried out a lot of different flashlights. And the one that I've landed on is a recommendation that came from Best Damn EDC from Taylor Martin. This is called the Prometheus flashlight. It's made in copper. I love it for lots of different reasons. First of all, its functions. When you turn it on one time, you get 1 lumen. It'll run for like weeks at 1 lumen, but honestly, it doesn't really light anything up. Not sure what the purpose is. Hit it a second time and you get it to 15 lumens, and hit it a third time and I think it goes to 90 lumens. So really handy to have in your pocket, and I keep it on a Smart Key deep carry pocket clip so that it drops nice and deep into my pocket and it doesn't just kind of hang out the top. So if I am carrying my big Penguin, my QSP Penguin knife, that sitting next to it doesn't take a lot of space in my pocket. I also like it because it's detachable. I keep these Prometheus quick release clips with it, and it connects onto it. Although if you're looking for a more impressive one, if that's kind of too small, I did find myself carrying a giant Olight flashlight, which really surprised me. And this is the i5T Plus flashlight. I think it goes up to 550 lumens. So when you click it the first time, you get less, and then it's really bright. And I'm surprised at how easily this goes into your pocket. Doesn't affect you sitting down, anything like that. Super surprised. And I carried this, as you can see, because it's super patinaed and scraped up. I carried this for a lot of the year. So I really do like this flashlight, and it's not super expensive either. If you're looking for something a little bit more classy that fits in your pocket, an interesting shape, there's the Arcfeld. This is the Olight Arcfeld. 2 functions. One is it's got a little laser pointer on it. The other one is that it's just a standard flashlight. Super classy, sits in your pocket nicely because it's square. Really bright flashlight, lasts for a long time. It's kind of like an Apple remote control, the way that it's got the buttons set out on it, and I can't really recommend this enough. Now, one of the things I always have when it comes to audio, I'm on my phone, 8 to 10 hours a day, or if I'm listening to music or audiobooks, and I've upgraded this year to the Apple AirPods Pro 2, and it's worth the upgrade. I've had all the AirPods Pro as they came out, the original AirPods. I upgraded the AirPod Pro when they first came out a couple of years ago, and I still have them. But the upgrade, if you're running the AirPods Pro, the upgrade to the Pro 2 is definitely worth it. A couple of things that make it worthwhile. One is they finally have a little external speaker on them. So if you lose these down the side of the couch, your kids rob them, whatever happens to you, that kind of happens to me, you can find them using the Find My on your phone. So it'll make a little noise and you can find them. Second thing is that the spatial audio on these, the sound quality just seems to be so much better than the previous version. Now these, as always, are absolutely disgusting. I wear them way too much and I don't clean them enough, but I do have a cool tool for cleaning them now. This is just a small thing I picked up on Amazon that I'll stick a link below, super cheap, but it's got a little felt tip on it that you can stick inside in your case if you want to clean out inside where the AirPod stem goes, you want to give it a rub around, things like that. It's got a felt outside on it so you can clean all around the case, or if you want to clean the screen on your phone, handy for that. It has this kind of, looks like a fountain pen pick on it if you need to clean out some stuff on the inside in the earpieces. If a little bit of dirt or something gets stuck inside, you can pick it out without breaking your AirPod. And it's got a small brush on it as well for just brushing off areas like that. So super useful. It also has a place where you can put in, kind of alcohol or something like that to spray a screen, or if you wanted to have something for hand sanitizer. I never use that. But handy little tool to have, very cheap. I'll stick the link below. So here's something new that I started carrying this year. I wear glasses most of the time. I'm at my computer here, and if I go out and I want to bring my glasses with me, but I don't want to wear them all the time, I mostly need them if I'm reading, or if I'm on my computer, or if I'm driving. But when I get and I'm talking to people, kind of like I am here, I like it to put them away. So many times I've put them on my jacket or in my pocket and crushed them or broken them. And what I've started doing is carrying this super minimal glasses case. So it folds down to almost nothing. I keep it in my jacket pocket or in my back pocket of my jeans. And when I do need it, it folds out, you pop out the sides and stick it back up, and you've got a really secure thing that you can still stick in your jacket wherever you want to keep it. Your glasses are strong and protected inside. When you want to put your glasses back on again, you don't want to be carrying this big cumbersome thing around. Fold it back down, stick it back in your pocket. Crazy useful. Now, like everybody, I pay for everything with my Apple Watch or my phone, but I still carry cash around with me everywhere. I'm old school like that. I like to have money with me. And for this, I've got this really nice copper money clip with it. It's customized, it's got MOB on it, my initials, and I like to keep a little bit of cash with me all the time, just in case I get stuck on, caught on the fly, if I can't get reception or my card's not working for whatever reason. Having cash in my pocket, I use it sometimes. For my wallet this year, I did a couple of things. I've got this wallet that I made myself. I used a laser cutter to cut out this leather, cut the holes in it, and then I just had to stitch it together. And I've used this wallet for years, but this is the wallet that I use all the time in my front pocket. Something did turn my head for the first time this year. So here is something called the Extra wallet. Now the thing I really like about this is there is a front pocket component that has just as many slots as mine does, where you've got a middle part for some cash if you want, or stuffing things in, as well as 2 card slots and 2 card slots on this side, so you can keep that in your front pocket. But if you find yourself going somewhere and you want to have a back pocket wallet as well, and this is super flat, a really thin back pocket wallet, or if you want to carry cash with you, this is a great option. The thing I really love about it is it's got magnets on it, so if you decide to combine the two, super satisfying. You've got your front pocket wallet and your back pocket in here. You've got more cards, more access to things. I love how modular it is. Just the magnets in it make it super classy. And I actually carried this for a couple of weeks this year. I can't get away from the fact that I just want a small front pocket wallet. And I didn't feel I was doing justice to this, so I'm actually going to gift this to my dad, who will love it. But it is a great wallet. This year I did upgrade my tracker. I'm using a Chipolo tracker. Last year I was using a Tile Slim Wallet tracker. What's the difference? With Tile, you use the proprietary Tile app. You have to have it open on your phone, and you can use the Tile app to find out where it is. You can make it make a noise. You can double press this button to find where your phone is if you have your wallet and you can't find your phone. And it's been really reliable. I love this. This has been fantastic. However, because I have a bunch of AirTags on all my keys, all my devices, my kids' school bags, all that stuff, I use Find My for everything. And actually this was the only Tile tracker that I had left. And then I discovered Chipolo create a tracker that's connected to Find My on the Apple ecosystem. So it's exactly the same size as Tile. I mean, identical. It's basically the same card. You couldn't tell them apart except for the logo, except it connects directly to Apple's Find My network. And I've used it several times. I basically lose my wallet every day, and I've used it several times to find my wallet. The advantage, besides it just being on Apple's Find My ecosystem, is Apple's ecosystem is better than Tile's. Tile relies on, fewer people have Tiles, and it relies on connecting to people's phones when someone who has Tile on their phone connects to it, whereas the Apple ecosystem connects to any iPhone within the vicinity will tell you where that thing is. It's totally secret, people can't track each other's devices, but I'm much more likely to find my wallet if I lose it in the field using and Find My device through Chipolo than I am using Tile. And for that reason, I switched over to Chipolo. I always carry a pen with me so I can take notes. Not super exciting. This is a Montblanc pen that I've had for a long time. It's actually got someone else's initials in it because I bought it used on eBay back in the day when I didn't have a whole lot of money and I really wanted one of these. But I've had this since like 2010 or something. So had this really long time and it's a great pen. So keep that with me all the time. So this year I switched out the Rolex for the Apple Watch Ultra. So why did I do that? In my previous video I talked about Rolex and how I've had this since 2010 and that I'd wear this on the wrist for the rest of my life. Well, the good news is I haven't got rid of my Rolex and I never will. I'm always going to have this. It's always going to be my default watch. But this year I tried some new things. I've always worn a Rolex with an Apple Watch on my right wrist, and that worked really well for me. But this year Apple brought out the Apple Watch Ultra, which is a super classy watch. One of the big things about the Apple Watch that used to drive me crazy before was that you actually couldn't get a full day of usage out of it. If I forgot to charge it in the morning, it would run out during the day, or if I got through to the end at night time, I couldn't record my sleep accurately. The new Apple Watches last for up to 60 hours. It's a chunkier device, which I absolutely love. I've kind of got bigger wrists anyway, and it sits really nicely. But when I put it on, when I first bought it, and I put it on to have it as a second device like I always did with my other ones, I really did start to feel a little bit ridiculous with it. Now, the other ones for some reason, and I'll show the clip back to my other video here, the other ones just seem to be smaller and they used to blend in more, but this really is a chunky device. It's, you know, it's even bigger than my Rolex. I just wasn't willing to wear both of them. I felt like it went beyond that kind of awkward, ridiculous bit that I was comfortable with. Maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe I'll end up working like this in future. But I felt for now, ever since I've had this since it came out in November, I've been wearing it on its own and I absolutely love it. My watch is in the safe. I'm still going to go back to that Rolex. It's not going anywhere. I'll never get rid of it. But for now, I really like having just the convenience of just a single watch on my wrist. While I was working from home, I got in some really bad habits around not working out. So I've been focused on working out. In fact, I tried a bunch of other watches. I tried the Garmin Epic, which I'm going to make a review on as to why I think the Apple Watch Ultra is better than the Garmin Epic. I tried a couple of different Garmins, trying to just get a little bit more into my fitness and activities. But the Apple Watch Ultra is perfect for me. It's everything that I need. And at the moment, my Rolex is kind of gathering dust. It'll be back on again, probably mid-year. I'll probably get used to wearing it again. Maybe I'll go to wearing my Apple Watch Ultra on my wrist as well. Who knows? But for now, it's sitting over there. And last but not least is my keychain. My keychain is something that I put an awful lot of time and thought into, and if you want to go through the absolute details of my keychain, I've got an entire video on it. The whole system I use to create a keychain and all the products I have on it, link here for that. But the quick summary is, Victorinox multi-tool always have this with me, which is why I can have a fixed blade in my pocket, because if I do need some of these little multi-tool things, this will get me through cutting nails, open boxes, getting batteries out for the kids, things like that. One of the things that I added this year, which I love, if there's only one thing that you take away from this, is this little Olight Mini. It's a keychain, magnetic keychain flashlight that if you pull on it, it turns on. You can find the thing, whatever you were looking for, under the desk. You just let go of it, clips back in, magnetic, and there it is. You don't even have to take your keys off your belt. You just find it, pull it, you got a flashlight, stick it back up again, it's back on. Love that. As I said, I've got my air tags, so that I've got this on all of my keys to find whatever I'm looking for. And then I've got the smart key to keep my keys together. I don't like my keys jingling around all the time. I like to keep them all contained within it. And the smart key is the most minimalist way that I could do it. So I can have a keychain with a multi-tool, a flashlight, and a way of finding it, as well as 6 keys on a keychain, all in something the size of that. So really happy with my keychain at the moment. And if you want to know my system, check the video on it. So that's everything for my loadout this year. Hope you enjoyed this video. If there's something here that you disagree with, or you have your own EDC that you think you'd like me to try out, I'm really trying to nail down what my EDC is for 2023. So if I'm missing something or you disagree, stick it in the comments below. I'd love to have a chat with you about it. Good luck.